Hello, everybody. Welcome to this winter edition of our exclusive tea club, where we bring every season select a nice selection of amazing teas to share with you. I just realized this is our 15th edition. We started the tea house we started 20 years ago, but we started the tea club in the summer of 21. So it's nice. It's been really nice sharing these teas with you guys. And just so there's a little background for this video is to complement the teas that people receive. Of course, if you haven't received the teas because you're not in the club, you can always join the club on our webpage or write me. And this video serves also if you just want to learn about tea, we'll explain a little bit the teas that we shared for this edition. So the idea in the tea club is every 3 months we send some really nice teas that we don't have at the tea house, something special. We have special teas at the tea house, of course, but this is like another avenue for me to share amazing teas with real big tea lovers, and also to keep bringing new things. So let me first explain. The first tea that we're going to explain is a oolong. I'm going to show you the leaves. I'm going to switch the camera. So this was the first leaf, the first tea. It's a oolong, it's a baozong. And as you can see, it's much darker baozong than what you're used to. Now, the reason for that is that it's been more oxidized and it's been roasted. Actually, while I'm talking, I'm just going to brew some tea. Informal tea, just to have some tea going. I'm actually going to be brewing the right before last of all the teas we're going to explain. So this first tea is a 2023 roasted baozong Yingxuan varietal from Taiwan, from Pingling. Yingxuan is translates as golden lily. It's the varietal that's often used for what's called milk oolong. Now, let's not confuse milk oolong with what is usually called milky oolong. Fortunately, they usually call milky oolong that which has been aromatized. And hopefully they keep doing it like that, so it's pretty obvious. But Yingxuan is a varietal that is naturally very creamy, very milky, even buttery. And it's a wonderful varietal that's used in Taiwan for oolong and also for Hongcha. So we've shared many baozongs and we've shared many Yingxuan teas over these years. What makes this one different is the roast. So baozong translates as the wrapped kind. It's a type of oolong that was traditionally wrapped in paper into squares, and traditionally it was like most oolong traditionally was traditional oxidation. It was a more oxidized tea than is commonly found now. Now baozong tends to be so light, so green, so very little oxidized, that when you go to Pingling and you go to the museum there, they actually don't include baozong among the oolong category. It's like they explain that there's white tea, there's green tea, there's baozong tea, and then there's oolong tea. And they don't do that because Pingling is a town of baozong. There's lots of baozong. But they don't do it because baozong is so amazing that it deserves its own category. They do it because they feel like it's not oolong. Oolong, at least traditionally, was always more oxidized. But now in Taiwan, for the past 30 years, there's been a trend towards lighter, more floral, more green, less oxidized oolongs. So what I found so interesting about this one is that it's traditional oxidation. It has a wonderful roast. So it's really balanced, because you'll notice that you still get the creamy notes, the milky notes, but you have it's a wonderful roast, and with notes of cocoa and fruity notes like jackfruit. It's really complex, smooth, silky, sweet. I find it delicious, and I hope you do too. So that's the first tea. me show you the second tea. You can see these are big leaves. You can see they're aged. This is a 1991 fermented tea from Cao Bo, Vietnam. We can call it pu'er tea. In China, they would call it border tea, that which does not come from Yunnan. They like to refer to it as border tea, coming from any of the borders, from Myanmar, from Laos, from Vietnam. There's ancient tea trees. These tea trees have often been used in pu'er as part of blends and as part of the pu'er culture. What hasn't been so typical is to find in situ in these countries well-made shou pu'er, which is this in this case. This is shou pu'er. You could find sheng pu'er from old trees in those countries, but shou pu'er there really hasn't been that much, because shou pu'er is actually really not that old of a process. In this case, there's in Cao Bo a manufacturer making shou pu'er quite similar to in Yunnan. I mean, they worked in Yunnan in the factories there. They learned how to do it correctly. They make some changes. They use wood for the piling, a wood base rather than cement, and that gives it a more woody flavor to everything. What I really love about it, in addition to the wood notes, I mean, I love the wood notes of Vietnamese shou pu'er, but what I really love is the body feeling. I think it's a luxury that we don't have in China, not so common, at least in China, to find shou pu'er made with this kind of high quality raw material, ancient tea trees, grown wild. That kind of material in China is best used for sheng pu'er, because the market will pay for fantastic sheng pu'er made with that raw material. Whereas shou pu'er in China is expected to be cheaper. This changes. There's always going to be some private collectors who will make amazing shou pu'er with amazing raw material, but that's not the common thing. The common thing is that shou pu'er is a more modern, faster made tea that tends to be made with plantation tea, and so it's so special to get this tea. And for those of you who have been in the club, you've tried from the same producers. You've tried the 2002, which we actually have right now available at the tea house, the 2007, and we hadn't offered this 1991, which you really notice the passage of time. You notice the passage of time in this tea. It's wet store. Vietnam is very humid, so it's great for aging the tea. And you get a lot of that old wood flavor, that old taste, the passing of time. HT is if you know HT, you probably don't need me to say anything about it. But if you don't know HT, which is quite common, maybe for people looking at this video, teas can be aged, and shou pu'er, fermented teas in general, have been aged. They've always been aged. And for a tea drinker, for a tea lover, the fantastic thing about these aged teas is especially fermented teas, the properties increase over time. The diversity, the microbial and probiotic properties of the tea, of fermented tea, increases with proper storage and humidity and ventilation. The tea matures and gets better and better, and more beneficial. The idea is that it's more beneficial to you in terms of health properties. But that aside, just the flavor and just the romantic notion of connecting to a leaf that has been waiting for this moment for, in this case, 1991. So it makes us think back. 1991, I was around. 1991 was a great year. You know, that was the year that Nirvana released "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and Pearl Jam did "Alive." It was a tremendous year. So it brings us back to that year where we were, that place, and that's wonderful about aged tea. Also, there's the mental side of bringing you back to a time and place and people and memories, and appreciation for everything that's occurred maybe since, or um, and um, and it can also, if it's before our time, it can make us think also, uh, there's that aspect. And then there's the aspect of when we don't think and we're just drinking the HT, we'll notice in our bodies the calming energy, the peaceful, the deep concentration that you get from these teas that have been maturing for so long. So um, it's a pleasure to share this tea with you. I love it, and I know you will. So we always choose, for the winter edition, we always choose HT, some HT, because the winter is a time of celebration. We spend more time indoors. Spending time indoors, spending time more in ourselves. We retreat in our homes. It's warm, it's cozy, we make more tea, we stay there longer, and we can really enjoy the many steepings that an HT provides, the deep feeling that it gives us. It's really conducive to winter. You can drink HT all year round, but I think I like sharing it in winter. It's like the holiday spirit for me. I hope you really enjoy it. So let me show you now the third tea. Here, this is another fermented tea. It's called Yamabuki Nadeshiko. It's a fermented tea from Japan. Fermented tea from Japan that is from Shizuoka, from Mount Haruno in Shizuoka. And it's not an old tea. There are many fermented teas that are very ancient, and in Japan too, right? But pu'er is the most famous of fermented teas right now. But local regions have their local fermented teas throughout China and throughout Japan. This one is a special one. It's quite new, and it was created by Dr. Denbei Kawamura. He is known as the father of yeast, of Shizuoka yeast in Japan. He's a known figure for what he's done in the world of sake. And he worked on creating a fermented tea using the microbe, the starter that is used for sake, applying it to tea. So pu'er tea is often used. They often add a starter, and it's called Aspergillus niger. And this Aspergillus is for shell pu'er. So for this one, it's a different Aspergillus. It's called Aspergillus Nakazawa. And some people, I've seen this being labeled as Japanese pu'er tea. I don't think that's correct. It's not Japanese pu'er tea. It's Japanese. It's another Japanese fermented tea. It's called Yamabuki Nadeshiko, which is can be translated as like Japanese beauty. And I wouldn't call it pu'er tea. The leaf is not. It's not Camellia samica or Taliensis, or it's not a wild ancient tree leaf in the area. So it's a small leaf varietal. I think that's one important difference. I think I don't know really the secrets to the fermentation process, but I doubt it's the same because also the result. I mean, of course, the result could also be because of the microbe that they add, but it's so very different. You'll notice that it has a sweet, sour, almost umeboshi flavor. It's more similar to the goishicha. If you've had the goishicha fermented tea, it's a little bit like that. It feels good. I think that's really what I'm attracted to it. We've offered this at the tea house actually years ago. I'd say around 2016, 2017. It's been maybe a little bit later, but it's been years since we've had it. And I was able to get this organic version now, and that was a real treat for me. So I decided to share it with you because it had been a long time coming. I think whenever we had it, that was still at a time before we went fully organic here at the tea house. So I wasn't offering it in the meantime, but it's fantastic. Okay. The fourth tea we're going to explain. Let me show. Would you believe this is also another baozong? I'm going to show you now the first baozong again. You can still see the green. This one is much more oxidized, and really what it is very, very aged. So that's a 1971 baozong. It's very rare to find aged tea with a specific year. Often we estimate the year of an aged tea based on prior knowledge, based on appearance, aroma, taste, maybe the story of who had it and how long. All these factors can our experience with drinking other similar teas can help us, but usually it's some kind of estimate. In this case, the farmer's grandfather had left it very clear on the bag what it was. It was 1971 baozong Qinxin. Qinxin can be expected. That's the most common varietal in Taiwan. The Qinxin would be like a tender heart or green heart. And yeah, he had it aging there for 50 years in the warehouse. I don't think that they were really aware that it was there. This is really special. Really special that they decided to sell it, and very special for me to be able to share it with you club members. You'll notice right away the very strong, what they call chenqiang, like aged aroma, as you do in the show pour. But in the show pour, you'll also have the pour itself, right, with a strong aroma. Here in the baozong, you really just it's almost like there's also a bit of camphor, but it's a lot of it really brings me to the humid smell in my grandmother's apartment building. Not even in her apartment. I don't mean like the smell of her apartment, because there was like perfumes and things, but an old, right, early 1900s building has a smell to it. And you just come in through the door, right? You can smell the passing of time. So, which brings me to this tea, right? It's 1971. It makes us think, okay, 1971. 71 was an amazing year, right? It's 71 is Imagine. It's Led Zeppelin 4. It's Sticky Fingers. It's just LA Woman. It's incredible. In 1971. And it's before my time, and to think, right, that this tea, it's so wonderful. Tea connects people. Tea connects us to ourselves. Tea connects us to who we're drinking and sharing tea with, and tea can connect us to the past, and it's real powerful. If you're watching this video up to now, you love tea. You know that tea is a powerful, lovely drink, and aged tea is just another level to be enjoyed, and not to be enjoyed talking in a video like this. That's why I'm not brewing it. Now I'm brewing the next tea that we're gonna talk about. This is the one I'm brewing right now. This is rolled, like balled oolong. As you can see, that it's rolled the way like a dongding would be rolled. Yeah, like it's a hongcha. It's hongcha. It's a Mishan hongcha. Mishan is a honey fragrance. Honey fragrance is Mishan is one of the Taiwanese teas that requires this little jacet to suck on the leaves. It punctures the leaves, makes a little bit of a hole in the leaves. It's a plague that comes in the summer, so it's a summer tea, summer 24. It sucks on the leaves, makes punctures, it makes a little hole, and where it makes a hole already on the bush already, it starts to oxidize. So the tea is oxidized already. It starts to oxidizing on the bush. Also, the tea plant to protect itself from this invader, it sends sugars to the leaves. So apparently, the tea is a bitter plant. The leaves are bitter, and when the jacet sucks on it, it likes that. But when it gets the sweetness, it leaves. These are the explanations for why these teas are so sweet and delicious. And I say these teas because Mishan Oolong or Hongcha in this case, Mishan Red, is so sweet, honey notes, and Oriental Beauty or Eastern Beauty, Dongfang Meiren, that's maybe the most famous of these bug-bitten teas. Royal Concubine is another one. They're fantastic. And so in the summer edition, we shared this Mishan tea by the same producer, Master Xie, who if you're follower of Global Tea has written extensively about Master Xie and has shared many of his teas. He's a low elevation tea in Mingjian. Really nice quality, organic, MOA certified, really nice teas. We know Master Chef from Global Tea Hut. So we shared his oolong tea, his Mishan oolong in the summer, and this gives you a chance to taste now the difference with what happens with a little bit further oxidation and making Hongcha out of it. Hongcha, in case you don't know what that means, Hongcha literally means red tea. Red tea is what in the West we call black tea. I don't like to call black tea if they call it red tea, so I just refer to it in Chinese and call it Hongcha. So those are 5 teas that we shared in this selection. There's more, but I want to explain. So we have two formats of subscription. One is every 3 months we send you teas according to the season. For 75 euros, you get either 3, 4, in this case 5 teas. It depends on the price and the grammage and presentation of the teas. And then there's also another possibility, which is to get the 150 subscription, which is the same teas, more quantity, and bonus tea. So that's what I'm going to show you now. In this case, it's a bonus tea. It's a 2002 Shangpuer. This comes from Jiangcheng, which is in Mengla, Xishuangbana, a very remote area close to the border with Myanmar. It's been aging in Taiwan for the last 20 plus years. It has a wonderful aged flavor already. Lots of camphor, like figs, mint. It's fresh but deep and calming. You can tell that the tea trees are old, not really old. By old standards, they're only 120 years old. That's not considered normally old. It is old though. And more importantly, though, the place where it comes from. I mean, these tea trees grow wild. It's not plantation tea, and they grow wild in a natural environment. With it's not a mono plantation, so it's a natural environment without need for man to be watering those trees, because they have enough water on their own, and they don't need to put insecticides or fertilizers or pesticides or anything, because there's a natural harmony in the diversity of the forest. And that's what we share for this time. I hope you found this very interesting, and hopefully you'll want to sign up for the club. We ship worldwide. We meet, I didn't say this before, we meet online. Basically, a couple of weeks after you receive the tea, we'll meet online. And that serves for sharing, for a little bit of community, for sharing, but also for you to ask all the kind of questions you want to ask, further accompany you in your tea journey and tea learning. This is what I love to do, finding nice teas and sharing teas and talking about teas. Not so much in this video format. I personally, I love to do it in our tea room. If you come to Barcelona, this is the place for me to do it with you. But the world is big, and so we ship and we do this online. I hope you found this really interesting, and thank you for watching till now, and see you again in the spring.